Hi, this is Craig, and in this video today we're going to take a deep dive into editing acoustic and electric guitar tracks. Hi, this is Craig from Craig Colley Music. Thank you for joining me today wherever you are in the world. Hope you're doing really well. And we are going to take a deep dive into some guitar tracks that we've already recorded on a song we've been recording from start to finish called Kenny's Song. And if you haven't watched any of the previous episodes, you might want to click this card here and go back and check those out first. But either way, this video will be fine to watch. They all are, right? Of course. Yeah, that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all the tracks that we've recorded. I've done a lot of edits already, but I'm going to break it down to make it real simple to follow, and some tricks and techniques that you might want to incorporate into your editing process. And if you're here for the first time or a return visitor, please subscribe. That would really help grow the channel. And like the video if you like it, ring the bell, and that way you'll be notified of new videos as they come out and premieres and when I go live. So let's jump into the screen here and review what we have so far. Put my glasses on as usual so I can see, and headphones on so I can hear. So we have in front of us here the track, and once again I'm in Digital Performer, the DP10 by Mark of the Unicorn. That's my DAW, my DAW, my digital audio workstation. These are all the tracks. They're color coded for the different instrument groups. This was the original digital piano that we started with. This is the grand piano. These are all the acoustic guitars, several of them now, and different groups of electric guitars, all in the green. And in the blue is the bass, and the purple is the drums. And all of this has been recorded. Most of it has been edited. I left a few to do in this example. Let's begin by just looking at a little bit of an overview of where this thing is from acoustic and electric guitar standpoint. I'm going to play a little bit of the track right here to give you an idea of the basic mix. It's going to start out with a piano part, and the bass picks up. Down here in blue is the bass, and we're going to start there with the bass and piano playing, and then coming in with the entire ensemble playing all at the same time. These acoustic guitars here that are marked MS1 and MS2, and there's a second version because they overlap. You can see here there's a little overlap, so I use 4 tracks. But these are doubled, and this is playing the melody along with the piano. So I'll start it here, we'll play a little bit, and I'll come back and we'll talk through the rest of this. Since you made it this far in the video, welcome to Craig Colley Music. If you'd like to receive more information and watch more videos just like this one, hit the subscribe button right now and ring the bell. That way you won't miss out on any of the free stuff coming your way. Okay, so it gives you an idea. So I'm going to break it down. First of all, I'm going to turn off the piano. I'm going to turn off all the other electric guitars. And we're going to listen to the acoustics a little bit here. I'm actually going to turn off the drums and the bass and just listen to that acoustic track there. I just noticed something there. That's actually a good example. You can hear there's a little bit of noise there. You don't hear that when everything else is going, but I was trying to clean that up. And since we're doing some cleanups right now, we're going to tighten up the beginning of these tracks so there's no noise. Because sometimes something will just poke out later and you're not even sure where it came from. And that's usually what happens. So you can hear that melody going da 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 da. Those are harmonies on the guitars. And I'm making these a little bit bigger so we can see them. Everywhere that there is a line, there's been an edit of some sort. So I'm going to play this section here because first I'm going to play where you're going to hear a little bit of the punch that has to be cleaned up. So here we go. Now in the context of everything else playing, you don't really notice it, but I'm going to clean this one up here because it's right in the middle of a note, and I typically wouldn't do that. So I'm going to slide this over here behind it into a space where there isn't a note, and that looks like that one a little bit longer. So we'll check that first. This one you don't even hear, but I'm going to bring this forward anyway. I don't like to ever cut in the middle of a note if I don't have to. There we go. And we'll check this one here. This is why we're doing this right now. I'm going to bring this one over here. So it's the end of that note there. Listen to that. Now it sounds like that's not even needed there, so I'm going to pull that right out of there. Got to get that tool into that position there. There's a little gap there, but there's nothing there anyway. Listen. There we go. There's another one right there. Go into an empty space. Another one right there. And like I said in earlier videos, I left these edits to do now because that way I can just play it and I know that I can, in a post session like we're doing right now, and clean everything up. Same thing here, bring it over there. Now right there, you can see this little bit of stuff there you don't want, so I'll pull those tracks in and draw a crossfade like this from the top. That way for sure nothing's going to be there. Looks like there was a punch here. I'm going to take that out, don't need that, and we're going to crossfade up into these two so it's real clean going across there. Now this is the second part that picks up because there's a slight overhang, and the other thing when I was actually doing the recording, it was difficult to get from this right here to let that ring and hit the other notes dead on. I opted to do that, and we'll go to the end here. And I'm going to bring that up a little bit there, and same thing there. Now this is the Martin track from before, strumming Martin and a strumming, or I'm sorry, the capo part there, and a Gibson part down here. Those have already been edited, so we're not going to look at those. We're just looking at these solo parts here, and you see there's quite a few of them. But that was the intention when I recorded them, so the recording goes quickly, and if I wasn't talking, well, actually it's not too bad just talking through it because this is what I would do anyway. It doesn't take too long to clean up the spots, especially if you have done this a billion times. Listen. I can hear this round, they've gone into a nice harmony. And because I was learning them on the fly, you can see that my punches on the harmony part, I learned piece by piece as I went. And if you asked me to play it for you right now, I probably wouldn't remember. But when you do it on demand, yeah, I can do this. It's one of those things that I can't explain how that works, but that's how I've always worked. I can hear it, I can figure it out, the theory's in my head. I already really know what the notes are. I just have to do the physical part of it and play it and hope there's still some feel to it. Let's listen. like that a lot. That's good. All right. We'll look on here, and I'm just bouncing ahead here quickly because if I don't see a line, I'm not going to stop and listen. And now we're going to the very end where there is a slowdown or retard at the end. And once again, I'm going to clean these up while I'm here. That's what this editing session's about. Now right here is a little, slightly abrupt on that one, but there is space there, and it's some of it's the kind of the feel of the timing, but the crossfades may help that a little bit. And what's difficult is that we're matching the grand piano part that sounds like this. So it takes a lot of time to get that close. Now, since we're on this section, I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn back on the drums and the bass and the drums, I should say, in the order I just turned them on. The same spot. No matter what I do, it's difficult to get it completely spot on because of the way the instruments are played, and as far as the arpeggio and, you know, rolling a chord on the guitar, rolling on the piano. So it's very difficult to do that. However, there's going to be enough happening at the very end of this that it will all mesh together, and it's pretty close right now. I actually had to move the piano up a little bit here because I couldn't get it tight enough on, if I play this right here, but there's no anticipation, there's no roll, there's no arpeggio on the chord. And it's one of those things I'm drilling so deep and looking at it from, you know, a fine-tooth comb, so to speak, that I won't even notice this, you know, a week from now or a year from now or 10 years from now. But right now it seems really obvious that they're not exactly perfect, but they're really close. And the other thing, we don't have any reverb or effects, anything giving this any kind of wetness or broadness or depth or imaging to it at all. I mean, zero. It's just dry. Now, if it's working dry, it's just going to work better when you put a little effect on it. So now we're going to turn the electric guitars on, and we're just going to look at this end section here because I haven't edited this other electric part yet. I'm going to turn that off for a moment and just listen to the other two rhythm guitars. This is a Telecaster here, and this is a Stratocaster playing the same part, two different pickup positions, and split left and right. And I'm going to turn off the piano and the acoustic guitars and listen just to those electrics with the bass and drums. Now, the Telecaster is a perfect example of the kind of giving it a strum, so it's not hitting dead on the beat, it's strumming through the beat. So a little bit of give and take there, and you can see here's the bass part here, and here's where that Tele comes in. It's a little ahead because it's strumming through that chord. And throw the two chunky electrics behind it. Now the Telecaster makes it sound like it's out of time because of the way it's being played right there. But now let's put back in the other instruments and you'll hear that it actually works quite well. Same spot. Big difference. I'll play it again. nice. All right, so now let's go and listen to this lead guitar at the end here, which is this phrase right here, who's doubling the melody. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit more than normal, just to make it easier to hear, because I'm going to edit the spot now. Close, so let's do a few little things to it. This one here I think is a little slightly ahead. Let's listen again. I'm going to cut it right here and cut it right here, and I'm going to shift it just a little bit back. This one sounds a little ahead right here. The same thing here, a little cut there, and a little cut right there, and shift this back slightly. And maybe this one is slightly. It's deceiving because it sounds a little ahead of the beat, but if you move it too much, then it gets off the beat. Once again, it's the attack of the instrument itself is so different than the piano or the drum. The drum is obviously exact. It's dead on. There is no fluctuation like that. It still sounds a little ahead at the end. I move it back a little more. Slightly, and now let's put this into perspective. Take it from this whole section here. Still sounds slightly ahead. Both these, I'm going to select them both and move them just a little bit. Now, I know I have that volume way up, and I'm going to pull it back into more of a mixed volume. Beautiful. There you go. Now, the last thing I would do with that section, go in a little bit and pull these back now and put little crossfades on them, so there's no, because there is a space in between, as you can see, but because it's going by so fast, you really don't hear it. If it was soloed, you would, but it's not really affected anything this way. You can stretch it out a little bit and put a fade on it there, and listen one more time. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to use it all yet, but I want to make sure that I'm editing it so it's all tight and good to go if I do want to use it. And then in mixdown, or final mixdown I should say, then I have to go back and do a bunch of editing and tightening up. So one of the other things I'm going to clean up right now is put some crossfades in all these tracks that are ringing out, because they're not going to be ringing that long. The piano is ringing the longest, and the other instruments are going to fade at their normal rate, but I don't want any noise at the end of these tracks, and this will assure that that's not going to happen. Now the electric guitars, because they're going through plugins and amp simulators that make a lot of noise, that's going to be a whole different animal to deal with later, but at least the crossfades will avoid anything like if you were just hitting the button, just that alone will pick up sometimes, and you hear it in the final end of a track because you turned the button off, or the record button on and off on your device, whatever it is. Now I've already gone through all the other edits, so we're not going to cover that, but I just wanted to show you some of the techniques on the editing, some of the process of looking at these tracks and what needs to be done at certain times. For instance, when I talk about during the recording, when we're doing the creative part, not worrying about cleaning up the edits or the punches, sometimes I'll clean up a few of them on the fly, just depending on what it is to make sure it's going to work. But most of them I'll leave like this and come back and fix them here because it's much quicker. You record better, you're not thinking about all the technology stuff, you just want to play and overdub your punches when it happens. And for me, sometimes I don't have very many, and sometimes I have like every line, like you saw in that harmony part in that acoustic guitar, because I hadn't done it before. I just figured it out as I went through the recording on that. All right, at this point, we are finally at a place where we've got a lot of tracks recorded on this song. We've got a lot of fun things that we can use for mix down options. And the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to experiment with some other instrument groups, some brass, some strings, some wind instruments perhaps, maybe some percussion, and to see what flavor that may add to this piece as well. I think we're pretty close now with the piano part, the acoustic parts, the electric part, bass, drums, everything sounding good. Now we haven't done anything to embellish any of the sound. That's all coming later. But as long as it sounds this good without anything on it, I mean, there is zero reverb except for a little bit of effects around the electric guitars. Otherwise, there's nothing else. And it sounds really nice. So it's just going to get more enhanced as I add things in the post-production and the mixdown part. So what's coming up is going to be some experimenting, and that'll be in the next video. I hope that you'll join me on that video as well. It's been a long journey, got a lot of detail into this whole progression of recording a song from start to finish, but that's what it's for. I had so many people ask me so many times as a multi-instrumental type singer, songwriter, producer, how I do it, so I decided to show you how I do it, and this is part of it. And I got a whole catalog of music that we're going to go through and show you all the different techniques. We haven't done anything with vocals because obviously this is an instrumental. The songs that are coming in the future will have a lot of vocals, and we'll talk about that, along with all the things I do to make the song just become a living piece of art and something that has a message and a feeling and something that touches people, hopefully. Music is an interesting thing. It can make people cry. You make people laugh, make them feel good, make them feel bad, make them feel something, but it makes you feel. And that's all it is to me, is an expression of a feeling, and hopefully that translates in what I'm doing and having some fun with it too. I don't want to be so technical all the time where the music is all work and no play, because there's a reason that musicians call it play. We go to play. We don't go to work, we go to play. We don't have a job, we have a gig. It's a great concept. I love it. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. Please subscribe if you haven't done so thus far. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And I'm also available for any one-on-one consultation. If you're interested in hooking up with me one-on-one, I can help you with some things that maybe speed the process up quite a bit. So this is Craig signing off from Craig Colley Music. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the next... every time. Bye.